there are places on this earth where the wild still rules. Where you arrive before the sun, hold your breath, and wait for something that has been walking these lands for thousands of years. This is Yala National Park, Sri Lanka, home to the highest density of leopards on the planet. And today, we go in. We arrived at the Katagamuwa entrance, the gateway chosen by serious leopard seekers. By the time we got here, the competition had already assembled. Dozens of jeeps, engines running, everyone waiting for the same moment. There are two main entrances to Yala, but this one, the Katagamuwa entrance, takes you straight into the heart of leopard territory. This is the door you want. You collect your entrance permits and vehicle pass, and before you enter, the park lays down its law. Speed limit, 20 kilometers per hour, no horns, no alcohol, no litter, and absolutely no stepping outside your vehicle. You are not the apex predator here. 6 a.m. The gates open. One by one, we roll into another world. Our first stop, Korawak Wewa, and nothing could have prepared us for this. The lake was wrapped in morning mist, the water perfectly still, the air cool and electric with possibility. On a leafless tree above the water, a peacock had spent the night roosting, now quietly watching the world wake up below him. Nearby, a changeable hawk eagle, one of Sri Lanka's most powerful raptors. Named for its striking dark crest that rises like a crown, this bird is a master hunter, capable of taking prey larger than itself. In the morning breeze coming off the lake, its crest feathers lifted slowly, like a king adjusting his crown. At the edge of the water, absolute stillness. A mugger crocodile, also called the marsh crocodile. These are not alligators, and the difference matters. Crocodiles have a narrow V-shaped snout, and you can see the fourth tooth of their lower jaw even when the mouth is closed. Alligators have a wide U-shaped snout and hide that tooth. The mugger's rounded snout sits somewhere in between. Ancient, patient, perfect. Feeding peacefully on the open field, a black-naped hare. Not a rabbit, never a rabbit. Here's the thing most people get wrong. Hares are born fully furred and with their eyes open, ready to run from day one. Rabbits are born blind and helpless underground. Hares are also built for speed, longer hind legs, bigger body. Then, movement in every direction. A large herd of spotted deer, also called chitel. Sri Lanka is home to 4 deer species. The spotted deer you see here. The towering Sambur, the largest of them all. The delicate barking deer, which cries out like a dog when it senses a predator. And the hog deer, stocky and low to the ground, built to crash through dense undergrowth. And then, our guide stopped the jeep, got quiet, pointed at the ground. Leopard tracks from last night. This is something every great safari guide knows. Read the ground before you look up. Fresh paw prints, scrape marks, broken twigs. The jungle keeps a record of every animal that passed through. We were walking in a leopard's footsteps, which meant it was somewhere close. A water buffalo crossed our path, unhurried, unbothered. Common in Yala, yes, but still an animal you respect. Then the radio crackled. A leopard had been spotted. We moved. When we arrived, he was already moving, a large male leopard slipping through the undergrowth like liquid gold. Unhurried, unconcerned by the jeeps, as if we simply weren't there. And then he walked onto the road. He walked the road like he owned it, because he does. He slipped under the causeway, disappeared into shadow. We waited. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. 5 minutes. 10. And there he was, stretched out beside the bridge like it was his personal armchair. This is Cleo, one of Yala's most famous and most photographed leopards. A male in his prime, perfectly comfortable with the presence of vehicles. He has grown up with the jeeps and he knows, correctly, that he has nothing to fear. He rose. He crossed the road. And he melted into the jungle, moving toward Modaragala rock. We followed, we positioned, we waited again. And then, he appeared on the rock face, climbing, effortless, a 60-kilogram cat ascending a near vertical rock face without breaking stride. At the top, he turned, looked back at us, and then was gone. As the heat of the day slowly rises, another performer takes center stage. A male peacock opens his enormous fan of feathers and begins dancing for a female nearby. He shakes the feathers rapidly, creating shimmering waves of color in the sunlight. The dance is both a display of beauty and strength. The larger and brighter the feathers, the healthier the male appears to the female. But today, she seems unimpressed. Still, he refuses to give up. Because in nature, persistence matters. Sri Lanka is home to the Asian elephant, a subspecies distinct from its African cousin. Smaller ears, a more rounded back, and only some males carry tusks. What makes Sri Lankan elephants remarkable is their intelligence and their deep social bonds. Family groups are led by the oldest female, the matriarch, who carries decades of knowledge about water sources, food locations, and safe paths. And here's something wonderful. Just like humans, elephants have a dominant side. Watch the trunk carefully. Some elephants always curl it to the right to gather grass. Others always to the left. Right-trunked, left-trunked. A habit formed in childhood and never broken. Near Suduwelamula, the jungle fell silent in a different way. Gamunu, one of Yala's most famous tuskers, a legend. Years ago, Gamunu carried two magnificent sweeping tusks, until a brutal fight with a rival male snapped both of them. Now they are growing back, slowly, jagged stumps rising again from his jaw. Gamunu is not the aggressive bull he once was. Age and injury have softened him. Now he is curious. He is food motivated. He approaches jeeps gently, slides his trunk inside, searches for fruit or snacks. Sweet? Yes. Safe? Absolutely not. A half-broken tusk from a 4,000-kilogram elephant is still capable of flipping your vehicle. Not far from Gamunu's territory, a Sambur deer rested beneath a tree. The largest deer in Sri Lanka, and one of the largest in Asia. These are the leopard's preferred prey in Yala. When you hear a Sambur alarm call echoing through the forest, a leopard is close. A common kingfisher. Common is doing a lot of work in that name, because there is nothing ordinary about this bird. Electric blue above, burnished orange below, the size of a sparrow built like an arrow. Kingfishers are precision hunters. They can hover, calculate the refraction of light through water, and dive at 45 kilometers per hour to catch a fish no bigger than your thumbnail. The park kept giving. A pair of Ruddy Mongoose sparring in a field. a land monitor, prehistoric, plated, scanning for eggs and carrion. A painted stork, wings folded like a silk robe, stalking the shallows. With its striking pink feathers and long yellow bill, it is one of the most colorful birds found in Yala. During the breeding season, their plumage becomes even more vibrant, transforming them into one of the most beautiful water birds in the park. Then something stopped us cold. A massive dark shadow moving through the trees. Slow, heavy, deliberate. The jungle itself seemed to shift around it, and then he stepped out. Ravana, one of Yala's most legendary tuskers, named after the great king of ancient Lanka himself, and standing here in the flesh, you understand why. Commanding, unhurried, absolute. And then, at Menik Wewa, something rare. 2 black-necked storks, Sri Lanka's largest flying bird. A species so uncommon on the island that experienced birders travel here, specifically hoping for a glimpse. We watched them for nearly 20 minutes, fishing, walking, calling to each other across the water. A brown fish owl watched us from his roost, enormous yellow eyes half closed, the avian equivalent of a disapproving grandparent. As the afternoon light turned golden, we moved toward Gala, one of Yala's most dramatic rock outcrops. Above it, a white-bellied sea eagle rode the thermals in slow, perfect circles, wings spread nearly 2 meters wide, before folding and disappearing behind the ancient stone. At the summit of that rock stands something many visitors never noticed, the ruins of a Buddhist stupa, Akasa Chaithya, built over 1,000 years ago. This was not wilderness, this was a kingdom. Yala National Park preserves not just wildlife, but the ruins of a civilization that once thrived here. Temples, stupas, ancient irrigation tanks. The jungle reclaimed what humans abandoned. And the leopards, the elephants, the crocodiles, they moved back in. Yala is not just a wildlife destination. It is a reminder of something we tend to forget, that the wild does not need us. It was here long before us. It will be here long after. But for one day, it let us in. If this video moved you, share it, because places like Yala survive only as long as people care about them. Subscribe for more wild journeys, and until next time, stay curious, stay respectful, and keep your hands inside the Jeep.